there! The Boyer sisters here to answer your questions. It's been like 2 years since we did our last Q&A.
Last group Q&A.
Last group Q&A.
That's too long.
Yeah, so like a lot has changed. So we're here to answer your questions. We got so many questions on our blog. Thank you all so much for contributing to this. So thankfully Bridgie narrowed it down for us to like the core questions that we think will be most informative to you and most enjoyable for us to answer. Some of the questions were really in-depth, and so we set those aside and are going to address those in their own video. But without further ado, let's get started. The first category is fashion, and the first question is from Madeline, which is, do you ever get strange looks from people when you are out in public?
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. That is such an awesome question. I'll just give you a little story. There's this lovely little town called Waynesville, and there are some shop owners there. It's a town full of vintage and antique shops, and literally full. The shop owners there know who we are because of how we dress, and then they'll get other customers in their shops and they'll ask, who are those girls? And they'll say, oh, they just dress up, and that's just, they dress like that all the time.
When they come to town.
Yeah, and whenever we'll do photo shoots in that town or something, people will just stare. So yes, we do get weird looks all the time. Yeah. This one is from Mick or Mike, M-I-C. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. What are you all looking forward to wearing this fall and winter? So I am going to be trying something new, a little bit different. This fall and winter, I'm going to be pulling out some tunics and skinny jeans. I've never really worn that on a regular basis, but whenever I have worn it, I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to be pulling that out more often, and I'm looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to wearing my lace-up Millicent boots from Miss Elfire again and making some long wool skirts to wear with those boots and blouses, and just sort of Edwardian inspired. So.
And I'm looking forward to wearing a lot of wool skirts as well, wool sweaters, and I told the girls I suddenly have this affinity for vintage folkwear, so you might see me stepping out in dirndls and
she would look adorable.
Yeah. What are those vests called? Think of Sound of Music.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I've always loved that style.
Spencer jacket.
You might. I'm not promising anything, but that's a dream.
Next question from Amy Lane. She asks, where do you get the clothes you do not make?
Thrift them, buy them on ThreadUp, which is online thrifting pretty much.
Which we totally recommend to those of you who don't have a thrift store nearby.
2 thumbs up. It's excellent.
It's awesome.
And occasionally we'll go out shopping to places like Gap and Loft and Taylor Loft.
J. Crew, Bass.
All of the high
J. Crew and
quality
Bass,
stores.
not so much just because they're more expensive, but we do go there if we have enough money.
And if we are all on very tight budgets, we can't splurge on like $200 purses, that type of thing.
Yeah.
But whenever they'll have like blowout sales, we'll go there. We just have recently gotten into shopping there at those type of stores, the designer stores and that type of thing, again, because we've taken like years off of shopping there.
Well, and we were teenagers whenever we started thrifting.
Yeah.
And now
we can afford to get high quality pieces that will last because our sizes aren't going to change that much.
No.
So
I still have the hardest time shopping at those stores. Like, I can't.
Small.
I everything's like way too big. I need to make it myself or else thrift it and then remake it.
This next one is from Valeria. Oh, I love that name. Have you noticed significant changes in your personal style? Do you like clothes, colors, patterns that you used to dislike? This is an interesting question for me personally because I've actually been discovering that so I kind of went through that homeschooler stage of denim skirts, bloomers, literally, I mean that, bloomers, like, layering the short t-shirt over the long t-shirt. That type of style. You girls know what I'm talking about. I went from that to vintage classic, and like then I went to strictly vintage, and now I'm actually getting back to a little bit like a mature version of the homeschool type of clothing with like denim skirts, cute tops, and a bit more trendy too. So I definitely have changed in my style, but it's just more learning how to combine vintage with modern, like my love of old fashion with my love of new fashion, combining those things together. So
yeah, I would say that we all went through the denim skirt phase together, and then we realized that there's vintage fashion. And of course, the girls with their sewing skills, they took off way ahead of me. I was still on the landing, or the runway. Yeah. I wasn't landing. I hadn't by no means landed.
She's still up in the air.
Yeah.
somewhere.
No, my clothes have progressed from being extremely muted, earthy tones to exploring different prints and vintage styles and a more classy look.
Yeah.
She was definitely the boho girl out of all of us.
Yeah, I've always had an affinity for earthy things just because that's who I am. But I can also be vintagey and love vintage, and it's not like the girls, I mean, yes, they definitely impressed their style on me a lot, but it wasn't like in my face, you have to do this kind of a thing. I just wanted to do it because it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I went through the denim skirts bloomers phase. And then the vintage phase, which I'm still in. I think I'm probably the one who's stuck with it. Like, for the girls, they went through a vintage phase, and now they're like combining it with modern. For me, I'm like vintage and more vintage.
And even going even further back.
Like Edwardian and all that. I would say for things that I used to dislike the color yellow. I would not wear yellow. And now it's become not my favorite color, but I have a few dresses and a blouse that are yellow, and they're some of my favorite pieces to wear. So that's one thing that's definitely changed.
It's all about the hue and the shade.
Yeah, it has to be the right color yellow.
Right, yeah, you can't just go out wearing neon yellow.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
Now, this next question is from Miss Sarah K. What is one item of clothing you couldn't imagine not owning?
Why are you looking at me?
You're going first.
You're going first.
Oh.
Spotlight's on you, my dear.
Do you want me to say? Because I have it in my head.
Item of clothing.
We'll come back to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I'm just going to say my favorite item of clothing because I couldn't imagine. It's just something that I've always wanted, and I couldn't imagine not owning it now that I have it. My Millicent lace-up boots. Love those.
They're cool.
Awesome.
I couldn't imagine. This is hard because like I can think of an item of clothing that like I could totally replace with something different.
No, you can't replace it.
Oh. But like I could substitute.
No, you can't substitute.
I think it'd be a pair of shoes for me. Probably. This is really hard.
I'm going through my wardrobe.
I
in my head.
know. Thumbing through all the shirts and things.
How?
I think I couldn't. Oh, okay. So just like as a type of clothing, t-shirts. I could not imagine not having t-shirts. That would be very depressing for me.
I'm glad I'm not you.
I tried to go a summer of only wearing blouses, and I came out that summer very depressed. So t-shirts.
I got it. Okay.
Striped t-shirts, Breton tops. Yes, I found it. Okay, go ahead.
Charlotte made me an adorable white vintage style sleeveless blouse, and it's like I want to call it a tank top, but it's not. It's just a sleeveless blouse. I love tank tops, but then I don't because they're tank tops. But that blouse is like everything. It's a blouse and then it's a tank top. And I don't like wearing sleeves in the summer if I can help it. I mean, like, this is the most that I will do in the summertime. Don't ever put me in a long sleeve or anything in the summertime unless it's like 50 degrees outside.
Well, that wraps it up for the fashion category. You can join us next week for creativity. And yeah, we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bye.